So I got 12 people to simulate an entire war. Each team had a king or a queen, which they had to defend. And there was no bets from the very start, so if you fell or got killed, you would not respawn, like real life. And if the king died, your team loses. So you have to be strategic and defend your king, while also trying to eliminate the other king or queen. I got shocked at the end with the end result, so you should watch till the end. Also, it improves my YouTube thing. It recommends my videos or something, so yeah. Also, a large portion of you guys are not subscribed, so please subscribe. I checked the thing, it was like 800 people who watch the videos and do not subscribe. So please subscribe, it's free, and you can always unsubscribe later if I end up in your house. So first thing that happened was that each team elected a leader, a king or queen. For the blue team, they elected Gab as their queen. And for the red team, they elected Pumpkin, eventually, as their king, after lots of discussion. So the first thing I noticed was that 3 people had already died on blue, and it was suddenly a 6v3. I did not expect this to happen so early, but they must have just fallen or just died the second I broke the beds. Queen Gab had decided to take the approach of collecting diamonds and not going to mid immediately. This was most likely because of the fact that they had lost 3 of their members, and it was a 6v3. On the other hand, Pumpkin took a different approach, sending troopers to mid to collect emeralds, and sent others to go spy on Gab to find out what they did, and they quickly catched on to their plan. Gab had quickly found out that they were being spied on, and it became an instant shootout. King Pumpkin had decided to come since nobody on the other team was in mid, and it was deemed safe for Pumpkin to walk on. This is also when Pumpkin learnt that Gab has enchantments. Not a lot happened here. The only thing that happened was the constant shootout and Groot collecting tons of emeralds in order to have an emerald sword already, while being shot up and pretty much causing a bushfire since he's a tree. Like I already said, not a lot happened here. People were just shooting at each other and just gathering emeralds and diamonds and iron in order to upgrade their weaponry and defense. Nobody really died here. It was just a constant scrounge for items while also spying on the other team. I also just realized during this voiceover recording that Groot was one of the people that actually eliminated one of the blues. So at this rate, there was a possibility of 2 falling off and 1 dying, which is pretty much what it looked like. Groot killed 1 and 2 fell into the void. Despite Groot already having an emerald sword, he decided it would be a good idea to get more emeralds. Now, giving this to the king or just keeping it for himself, I do not know. So basic summary of what happened here was I got some balloons, other people got balloons, we got an enchanting table, and we got upgrades. Honestly, the most interesting part of this stage of the war was me climbing a tree, standing up there to spy on Gab, and miserably getting shot and falling out of the tree, embarrassing myself while breaking my ankles. When I came back to the base, I noticed that we finally got tier gen 1, and also someone decided to build an entire chair just for King Pumpkin to sit on. I also brought a crossbow, knowing that this would be useful for later on in case there was another shootout. At this stage of the war, both teams were acting defensive. Finally, Pumpkin had decided to build up some walls just to protect them a little bit. Although they weren't very big walls, they were just wool that was 1 layer thick and about 3 blocks tall. They also built in some archer towers for people to shoot from. Queen Gab, on the other end, had decided that 1 layer wool wasn't good enough, and she decided to build the Great Wall of Bed Wars. The wall had blast proof at the front and stone behind it, although I don't know why they chose stone since wool would have been cheaper. They also had turrets on top of their wall that Gab used with her Vulcan kit, which by the way she got it from winning my kit giveaway in Bed Wars, so subscribe if you want another one of those. Two other soldiers and I had decided to push against the wall, and this is when we soon learnt that the turrets had a fire enchantment with them. This would not have been good for balloons. Groot decided to build a wall to protect us from the turrets, which was probably a smart idea. While he was building that, I asked where the king was and asked for what our next move was. The king came prepared though, as King Pumpkin had fireballs ready to destroy the turrets. He took out 2 turrets with 1 fireball, but there were still other turrets left to deal with. As he took out another one, there was only 1 left. Groot and I decided to flank them from a side, but this one turret caused us problems, as Groot went flying off the edge, and I was left there by myself. As Groot was now gone, I fell and met Groot down in the void. The Gab Union started celebrating that they had taken out 2 of King Pumpkin's soldiers, leaving him with only 2 other soldiers left. King Pumpkin was now walking back to base alone with no one protecting him, as now it was a 3v2. King Pumpkin had announced Wall as the new commander of his army. Now in the wall, both teams are playing a little bit more defensive, as King Pumpkin tried to take out some turrets, immediately retreating back to base, as Wall tried to take out other ones. Groot and I came back from the dead and looking at Blue's base to see what they had. We didn't get involved in the war at all, we just watched. The Gab Union had a tier 3 generator with diamond armor. This was way more advanced than King Pumpkin's army, with only iron armor and iron tools. Wall, King Pumpkin's commander, decided that he would take a look at Gab Union's base, quickly learning about their tier 3 gen and barely making it out of there alive. He got incredibly lucky that Gab didn't decide to use the turrets to take out his balloons, because that would have been devastating and that could have been the end of his life. Instead, Gab just decided to shoot me while getting shot at by fireballs. For the next 5 minutes, nothing really happened. Both teams were just sitting on their generator, stacking up with lots of gear, as Groot and I were running around the map, while Groot was looking for more food to eat to get bigger. Groot must have sourced some food inside of Gab Union's base, but immediately ran back while getting shot at by turrets, being helpless with no gear. I decided to give Groot tons and tons of health, although it didn't make him any bigger, which I would have wanted to see. Wall, the commander of Pumpkin's army, decided that he needed another look at Gab Union's base, although this time he had something really important to report back to his king. Queen Gab had emerald armor and an emerald sword. This could be devastating if she decided to attack them. King Pumpkin decided to take the most risky move of all risky moves, deciding to go and fight Queen Gab with emerald armor and an emerald sword when he only had diamond. He barely made it out of there alive. If he died, this could have been the end of the Pumpkin Union. Wall decided he needed yet another look at the Gab Union's base, although the last thing he saw was a fireball at his face and the void. I decided to make a grave for the fall of a mighty commander, although Groot decided the cross looked better upside down. Gab and her 1 soldier, Crystals, had decided to push against King Pumpkin, considering he was all by himself now with no soldiers. King Pumpkin put up a fight, but he decided running away was a better idea. After 2 minutes of running and chasing, Pumpkin decided to make one last stand, and he went out with the most noblest death of all. He decided to join his soldiers in the void. And just like that, the war was over. The Gab Union had won. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. If you want me to do more videos like this, comment them down below, because this was a really fun video to make. I really enjoyed it. If you've got more ideas, comment them down below. I will read all your comments and I'll heart all of them, just as proof that I've read them. Also, do consider subscribing, it really helps me a lot. And if you did watch to the end of the video, well, thank you, because that boosts my thing and recommends my video to a lot more people. Comment what your favourite part of this video was down below, and I'll hopefully see you in a part 2.